Hi everyone, Jenny Eagles from Local Property Team. We're here again with Renee Papagello from DSS Law.
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited because today we're talking about conveyancing. So, general conveyancing in 2020. Let's get to it. Do you mind actually explaining what is conveyancing?
Conveyancing is the process from signing a contract all the way to settlement and actually getting the keys to your property. So you'll conduct lots of searches, you'll prepare documents that will be actually required to legally transfer the property to you.
So this has obviously been quite a unique year. Has there been any specific changes to conveyancing?
We've certainly seen a much higher uptake of electronic settlements. We were previously moving towards electronic settlements, and our friends in Victoria had actually made it compulsory, but in Queensland it was optional. So we've certainly seen a very quick uptake of electronic conveyancing.
Generally speaking, does that go quite well, or are there any hiccups that sometimes might happen with electronic documents?
There's hiccups with conveyancing
yes.
at time. So I've actually found that with electronic conveyancing, that sort of reduces some of those hiccups, or it makes it easier, because I guess, as you can imagine, getting 4 people in the one place at one time is a bit more difficult when we have to reschedule, rather than online it just rolling over for half an hour.
Well, I actually signed a new lease agreement last night, and for the first time it was an electronic document, and it was so fast. We thought, oh, we don't want to do it tonight, but it was literally like 2 or 3 minutes, so it worked really well. It was amazing.
Yeah, and I think with electronic signatures there's concerns about verification of identity and things like that, but there are products on the market like DocuSign that are created to avoid a lot of those issues, and they have that security and metadata that is recorded in the document itself. Okay. So you can show that the person that says that they've signed it was that actual person.
Okay, so you really don't have too much to worry about, really.
Generally speaking.
Yeah. We have just touched on it, but what are the benefits of using DocuSign?
I guess efficiency, so speed, not having to come in and sign a document and then wait for it to be posted to somebody else. So that I feel like that's particularly in the current circumstances, that's a very big convenience. People might not be allowed to leave their home.
All right, so sometimes this does happen. I see it quite often. Is it possible to buy and sell a home simultaneously?
Absolutely. It might add to the complications because you're dealing with 2 contracts at the same time. But the most important thing is that if you are going to buy and sell a home simultaneously, you absolutely get that legal advice and have the special conditions drafted so that those 2 contracts are subject to each other, so that you can make sure that if the buyer under your contract can't proceed, then you are able to validly terminate the contract where you're purchasing a property.
Okay, so PEXA, what is it and what are the benefits of using it?
So PEXA is an electronic settlement or conveyancing platform. So that's what we touched on earlier about electronic conveyancing. The benefits of using it are that it's a sort of instantaneous transfer of your property. Instead of everyone physically going to settle and exchanging documents and having to wait and go to the actual titles office to lodge documents, it all happens electronically and basically straight away. And if you're a seller, that money will be instantly deposited into your account, as opposed to, previously you'd get a check. So
it definitely is beneficial to be using PEXA at the moment. Okay, so sometimes I've come across people who, maybe trying to save a bit of money, and they don't want to hire a legal professional when they're buying or selling their home. Do you mind explaining why it is important to hire a legal professional?
When you're dealing with conveyancing, you're actually dealing with a whole bunch of complex laws. There's a number of different legislations that will apply to the purchasing and selling of property in Queensland. So if you're not experienced in that area, then it can actually lead to a lot more problems if you're unaware of your obligations and things like that. So I would always recommend that it's certainly worth the money spending getting the legal advice and assistance throughout that conveyancing period.
All right, so when people are shopping around to find the right conveyancer or solicitor for them, how do you actually go about choosing one?
So I always recommend have an initial consultation, whether that's in person or over the phone. Let them know what your intentions are with the property, if you're intending to develop it, because they might have other advice for you. in relation to special conditions, things like that. But the most important thing is that you feel comfortable with that person and you know that they're going to assist you in every way they can throughout the conveyance.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I find you really need to trust the person as well, because they really are helping you through such a long process sometimes, or a complex process, and it is a big decision. So for me, it does make me feel more safe, I guess, if I'm working with someone I really trust.
Absolutely. It's a very exciting time, but it can also be very stressful. So if you've got the right consultants around you, then they can really make a difference in making that a much smoother process for you.
Yes, it doesn't have to be stressful, but if it ends up being stressful, that's what a good agent and a good solicitor or conveyancer are there for.
That's right.
They are there to take care of
Take away some of that stress for you.
Yes, exactly. We'll take the stress, no problem. Yes.
Thanks for having me.
No, thank you so much for being here. I know you're really busy, so I really appreciate you could be here. And if you want a great conveyancer or solicitor, DSS Law, they're amazing. Click below and for more info.